Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Brian Filler on the line, and he is the Chief Revenue Officer over at Hyde. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Ed.
So I'm excited to get more into what you're doing over at Hyde, but before we do that, let's get a little bit more into your background. So how did you get started in your career in business?
Sure, yeah. So I kind of followed a typical path for someone, in college and law school. So I did undergrad and then went straight from undergrad immediately into law school, kind of had dreams of being the high-flying litigator. You watch enough programming, you get these dreams in your head, but once you start going to law school, working at a firm, you understand what it really looks like, and you start getting a different idea of what you really think the industry and your career will be like. So, but I've always had the entrepreneurial bone in my genes. I've always been looking to have my own business. So I even had a couple side internet businesses throughout my time in law school. So after a few years practicing, working at a firm, I actually just stumbled across Hyde as actually a customer, and it actually turned into me working as a CRO for the company.
Wow. So, there is what I like about your background is, you had that really that real professional upbringing, and you had this one idea of where life was going to take you and what you wanted to be, and then you got a little bit further in those shoes, and you had a little pivot because you're like, this isn't exactly what it was cracked up to be. I love that because I think all of our careers as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as career guys, we all have those ups and downs. That being said, obviously now you're many years into your career versus when you first started, and you have the benefit of hindsight working on your side. If you were to give some career advice or some advice in general, just to those that new group of college grads, what kind of things would you tell them? Of course, now having the benefit of hindsight.
I guess the biggest piece of information, now looking back, it's probably a laundry list, but if I had one big piece, I would probably say don't be afraid to push and be aggressive. You really need to learn to be comfortable with networking and growing your network. And I think a lot of times, especially I know early on when I was young, you're looking for advice and you're looking to get ahead, get opportunities, and you might reach out once or talk to someone and have kind of an okay conversation, or maybe you get a quick brush off email and you let it die there on the vine. And over time, you have to get more comfortable with being more aggressive and pushing people, sometimes being a little bit of annoying and getting 2 or 3 no's before you finally back off on something. I can't tell you the amount of times looking back now that I do in my current, state, that I push and push and push people that I never would have 5 years ago. And I've just gotten more comfortable with, receiving the no and just trying again and again. And I think you really need to have that grit and tenacity and be able to push more than you maybe originally are comfortable with, and maybe be okay with making other people a little uncomfortable. It will get you much further than you think it will. I think a lot of people, come from a good place and are okay, willing to give you the time and advice, but you need to be able to advocate for yourself and really create that time. And so I think you just need to be aggressive enough to carve it out for yourself.
Man, I love that. And one thing I do like about that, and I'll just throw it from the other end, is that from someone who we get quite a bit of inquiries. Obviously, you have a media platform that happens.
Sure.
The only way we can tell if somebody's actually serious about their idea or what they're doing is if they follow up many times over a long period of time. So you use the word push, but in my mind, I think about it as from the other side, and I'm like, it's just showing you care. You have to care enough about your idea or what you're doing to get through the noise, because most people will try once and that's it. If the person tries 10 times, it's like, we should probably take their call. They're still following up. It's 6 months later. It's like they actually care about what they're doing, and they're doing what they say they do. This isn't a whim.
Exactly.
So they're worth some minutes of our time to hear at least what they have to say. So I love that advice.
There's nothing saying you need to be a jerk about it, but you got to follow up. You got to show the due diligence.
That's awesome.
And care. Yeah.
So let's switch it up a bit, Brian. Let's get into what you're doing over at Hyde. So first, tell me a little bit more about the business, please.
Sure. So the business is a men's premium subscription rental company for clothing. So the easiest analogy to think about would be like a Rent the Runway, but for men. So we were renting full, complete outfits that are styled professionally for a man. So it's different than, just a Stitch Fix where you get a box in the mail and you try on the clothes and decide if you want to purchase it or not. This is more styling for guys who know they want to look good, but either don't have the time or don't have the knowledge to really get it done. And so you get a fully curated box that's going to have basically an outfit and a half to 2 outfits for a weekend. So think about this time of the year. You've got holiday parties, maybe a couple weddings you might be going to, and you want to look good, but I know personally, and that's how I got involved with the company, was I was first a customer. You're looking to look good above maybe where your knowledge level is in fashion, because I had very little to no knowledge. You connect with us. We're going to get you hooked up with our styling team. They're going to get measurements in a way that you're not going to get at a Macy's or even some of the higher-end stores. We're going to get everything that's fitting perfectly for you. You're going to get a whole outfit, not just a T-shirt or jeans. You're going to get nice pants. You're going to get button-up shirts, jackets, shoes, and accessories, and it's going to be cologne, watches, maybe sunglasses, depending on the time of the year or the event you're going for. And you're going to be styled in a way and looking in a way that's going to give you confidence beyond just buying a new shirt at Macy's. This is going to be a really premium experience, and it's going to be at a price that you can't beat. So that's really what Hyde does. And we're, seeing pretty great feedback across the community from it. So it's something that I saw a need for as a customer, and ironically, I didn't realize how young they were when I first ran into them. And I wrote I was, a little bit pushy. I wrote back this kind of scathing email of things that I thought the company could improve upon. And within an hour, I ended up having these long discussions with the CEO. And it wasn't long after that they said, hey, not only are your suggestions right, you need to be on our team. You need to jump on here. You can make this work with us. And so that was about a year ago. And ever since then, we've just been growing like crazy.
Yeah, I love it. And for those listening that don't know what Rent the Runway is, because if you're not married or if you don't have a girlfriend that uses it's just throwing this out there. It's the secret weapon of all of these Instagram influencers and people that you're like, wait a minute, they have another this, they have another that. I'm in LA, so obviously I know what it is. Everything. Yeah. So a lot of people have it. Let's just say. So you have a big event, you have all these things going on, and you want to, you don't want to commit to $1,000 gown or whatever for a woman. That's what they'll use. It's called Rent the Runway. And this isn't an ad for them throwing it out there. I just wanted to clear up because everybody's not going to know. So now what I love about Hyde, and when I came across this company and asked for you to be booked for the show, I was like, oh my gosh, it's Rent the Runway, but for guys, this is the coolest thing ever, because think about it. A guy, number one, you don't want to deal with it. And if you're married, you don't even want to deal with having to have the discussion of having to do it anyway to put stuff on. You just want it to be there. So for this, just imagine this. You got this event, you have this thing, you have this series of events coming up, and you don't want to deal with it. You're already working. You're already in your life. You're doing 20 different things. The last thing you want to do is say, are these shoes for the right season? Are you kidding me? Unless that's your business, by the way. But I think for most of my listeners, they're business professionals that are busy in their career. They're finance guys. They're all this. You're thinking about these parties you have to go to, and you're like, are you serious? Can I just wear this, or can I just do that? You can, but you'll never be the best dressed guy in the room, not really, unless you really do some work around it. So I love your concept, I love the model, and I love where it's going, because I'm like, oh, finally, Rent the Runway book for guys. And now we have an equal say here in fashion. It's good, and we don't have to do anything, most importantly.
You said it perfectly. Yeah, no, I think people like you and I are the perfect, customer for this. You want to look good, but you're a full professional. You've got a full business, maybe multiple businesses you're doing on the side. You don't have the time to keep up with fashion. And like me, I kind of hate shopping for fashion. I know I'm not good with it, so it only adds to the anger and kind of the stress of trying to spend these hours buying all these clothes, which to have a full closet, it's also crazy expensive. So, we try to take those three major pain points out of the equation and solve them all for you.
I say this with in a good way. I don't mean this as negative branding, but it's for all the GQ wannabes like me. I open up the magazine and I'm like, come on, like, how do I do this? And it's not, and it's like, yeah, right. You're really going to go to all these different places. Yeah, they don't sell that online. This is a specialty item. This is that. It's like, can't somebody just do this for me? So that's what you've done.
Even when you have it in your closet, so half the time getting it all put together is half the problem too. So we try to take all that out of the, solve that all for you.
That's awesome. So Brian, if somebody's listening to this and they want some help here, what's the best way to get them hooked up with Hyde and to learn more?
So obviously check us out online. It's Hyde, Hyde. You can check us out, HydeCloset.com, across all the, the website, every major social site. And then you feel free. You can email me directly if you want. It's Brian, Brian, at HydeCloset.com. And check us out. We're based out of Washington, D.C., but internationally, we do everything. So please come check us out.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Brian, really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing more about your background and all the great work you're doing over at Hyde. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Really hope that you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review, do all those great things we do to support our podcasters. I really do appreciate it. And Brian, thanks again for coming on the show.